Lagos is the city of dreams and nightmares. Jennifer had always dreamed of living in Lekki. She had seen the pictures on Instagram, the glitz, the fine dining, the soft life. Girls her age flaunted designer bags, drove luxury cars, and lived in high-rise apartments with ocean views. She wanted that life. So when her old friend Adaora invited her to stay over for a while, she didn't hesitate. Adaora had been her childhood best friend, but life had taken them in different directions. While Jennifer struggled to make ends meet in her one-room apartment in Yoba, Adaora had somehow made it big in Lekki. "Babe, come and flex more," Adaora had said over the phone. "Lekki is the place to be. You dey suffer for Yoba for nothing." Jennifer knew her friend wasn't exactly working a 9 to 5, but she didn't care. She wanted in. Adaora's apartment was everything Jennifer had imagined. Marble floors, a wide balcony overlooking the city, a walk-in closet filled with luxury bags and clothes. "Omo, see enjoyment," Jennifer whispered as she ran her hands over a Chanel bag. Adaora laughed. "My dear, soft life no be for who they fear." That night, they went out to a club in Victoria Island. Jennifer wore a borrowed dress, tight, short, and expensive. They walked past the long queue and straight to the VIP section, where champagne bottles popped like pure water. "Babe, this is how we roll," Adaora whispered as she introduced Jennifer to some men, big boys with money. One of them, Chief Kola, seemed particularly interested in her. He was in his late 40s, dark-skinned, with a potbelly and a thick Yoruba accent. "You are very beautiful, my dear," he said, slipping his arm around her waist. "You should be enjoying life, not struggling in Yoba." Jennifer giggled. The champagne was making her lightheaded. "Maybe you're right, Chief." He slipped a bundle of cash into her purse. "Let's talk more." Adaora gave her a knowing look. This was how it started. The next morning, Jennifer woke up to find an envelope beside her pillow and 500,000 in crisp notes. "Chief sent it," Adaora said, sipping a mimosa. Jennifer's heart pounded. This was more money than she had ever held at once. She knew what it meant. "Relax," Adaora said, laughing. "No more thing." Jennifer convinced herself it was just a gift. No strings attached. But deep down, she knew better. A week later, Chief Kola invited her to dinner at his mansion in Banana Island. Adaora assured her it was safe. "Chief is a big man," she said. "He won't harm you." But as Jennifer stepped into his palatial home that evening, something felt off. The air smelled of burning incense, and strange carvings lined the walls. She ignored the uneasy feeling. After all, was this not the life she wanted? She had no idea she had just stepped into a nightmare. Jennifer's skin prickled as the eerie humming grew louder. It wasn't music. It was chanting, deep, rhythmic, and unsettling. She turned to Chief Kola, forcing a laugh. "Chief, are you having a party upstairs?" He smiled but didn't answer. Instead, he placed a firm hand on her lower back and guided her toward the staircase. "Come," he said. Her heart pounded. "Where are we going?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "I want to show you something special," Chief replied, his grip tightening. Every part of her body screamed leave now. But the money, the luxury, it all clouded her judgment. She let him lead her up the stairs. The closer they got, the stronger the scent became, something burning, thick and bitter. Then she saw it. At the end of the dimly lit hallway was a door. Unlike the polished, golden trim doors in the rest of the mansion, this one was old and wooden, its surface covered in strange carvings. Chief pulled out a key from his pocket and unlocked it. "Come inside," he said. Jennifer hesitated. She glanced behind her, but the security guard who had escorted her in stood at the bottom of the stairs, watching her. Trapped. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. The room was cold, dark. The walls were lined with red candles, their flames flickering. The scent of burning herbs filled the air, thick and choking. And in the center of the room, a shrine. Small wooden statues with eerie faces. A black pot, steaming. and at its base, clothes. Women's clothes. Some torn, some covered in dried blood. Jennifer's stomach twisted. Her breath came in short, sharp gasps. What is this?" she whispered. Chief Kola stepped beside her. A place of power. Her pulse thundered in her ears. "What kind of power?" she asked, voice shaking. Chief's smile was slow, dark. "The kind that gives me everything I have." Jennifer's knees weakened. She had heard the stories. Stories of men who used rituals to gain wealth. Sacrifices. Blood offerings. And now, standing in this room, realization hit her like a slap. She was next. Jennifer took a shaky step backward. "I need to use the restroom," she blurted. Chief's gaze darkened. "You're afraid," he said, amused. She forced a laugh. "No, oh. I just..." Before she could finish, he grabbed her wrist. "Relax," he murmured, his fingers tightening like a vice. Jennifer's stomach churned. She had to think fast. With all her strength, she twisted her wrist and kicked him in the shin. Chief let out a sharp yell, stumbling back. Jennifer bolted. She dashed down the hallway, her heart beat a wild drum. The security guard at the staircase saw her running and shouted, reaching for something in his belt. A gun. No time. Jennifer grabbed a nearby vase and smashed it into his face. He staggered, cursing. She sprinted down the stairs, past the grand living room, toward the door. Locked. Her blood turned cold. Behind her, Chief's voice bellowed, "Stop her." Jennifer scanned the room wildly. A window. Without thinking, she grabbed a chair and hurled it at the glass. Crash. Shards exploded everywhere. Ignoring the pain of glass slicing her arms, she climbed through the broken window and ran into the street, barefoot, bleeding, desperate. Jennifer didn't stop running until she reached Adaora's apartment. She burst inside, gasping, shaking. Adaora stood from the couch, confused. "Babe, what happened?" Jennifer tried to speak, but all that came out were sobs. Adaora's face paled. "Wait, you went into Chief's special room?" Jennifer froze. Slowly, Adaora exhaled and sank into a chair, rubbing her temples. "Oh, Jennifer," she whispered. "You shouldn't have seen that." Jennifer's breath hitched. Something in Adaora's tone was off. Cold. Like a silent warning. Jennifer's stomach dropped. It hit her then. Adaora knew. She had always known. And now, Jennifer was in danger. Jennifer's body trembled as she stared at Adaora. "You knew," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Adaora's expression remained unreadable. She slowly stood, crossed her arms, and sighed. "Jennifer, you don't understand how these things work." Jennifer stepped back, her pulse pounding. "You sent me there knowing what he does." Adaora ran a hand through her hair. "It's not that simple. Not that simple." Jennifer's voice rose, panic creeping in. "He tried to kill me." There was a shrine, blood-stained clothes. Adaora's face hardened. "Do you think I live this life for free? Do you think luxury comes without sacrifice?" Jennifer's stomach twisted. "Jesus," she whispered. "You're part of this." Adaora's eyes darkened. "Chief takes care of us, but he must be appeased. The rules are clear. Every so often, a girl must be given." Jennifer's breath caught in her throat. Given. Her skin turned ice cold. She was never meant to enjoy the soft life. She was meant to be the sacrifice. Adaora took a step forward, voice softer. "I didn't want it to be you, but you asked for this life. You wanted to belong. There's no escaping it now." Jennifer's chest heaved. She had to get out of here. Now. She bolted for the door. Adaora lunged, grabbing her wrist. Don't be stupid. Jennifer yanked free and slammed Adaora's head against the wall. A sharp cry. Blood. Jennifer didn't stop. She sprinted out of the apartment, out of the building, into the streets. It was late. The roads were nearly empty, except for a few Okada riders. She flagged one down, hands shaking. Suralia, she gasped. Fast. The rider barely nodded before speeding off. Her mind raced. She needed to leave Lagos. Go back to her village. Anywhere but here. But just as relief settled, her phone rang. Unknown number. She hesitated but answered. A deep voice, Chief Caller. You think you can run from me, my dear? His voice was calm, almost amused. Jennifer's throat tightened. I own this city, he continued. Wherever you go, I will find you. Then, the line went dead. Jennifer's fingers curled around the phone. She had never been more afraid in her life. She reached Suralia and ran straight to her cousin Amoka's house. Amoka was the only family she trusted in Lagos. She led Jennifer inside and listened as she spilled everything: Chief Caller, the shrine, Adaora's betrayal. Amoka's face darkened. You have to leave Lagos tonight. I know, Jennifer whispered. Amoka grabbed her keys. I'll take you to the bus park. But just as they stepped outside, a black SUV pulled up in front of the house. The doors flung open. Men in black suits stepped out. Jennifer's breath hitched. They found her. Run! Amoka screamed. Jennifer dashed back inside, locking the door. A loud bang. The door shook. Another bang. And then, silence. Jennifer's breath came in short gasps. She stepped back, eyes darting around for an escape. Then, her phone vibrated. Another unknown number. With trembling fingers, she picked up. A woman's voice. Soft. Cold. Adaora. I told you, Jennifer, she murmured. There's no way out. Click. The call ended. Then, the lights went out. Jennifer barely had time to scream before the door burst open. When Jennifer woke up, she was back in Chief's mansion. Her wrists were bound. The air smelled of burning incense. Shadows flickered against the candlelit walls. Chief Caller stood before her, dressed in white robes. Adaora was beside him, her face blank. A man with tribal marks, an herbalist, chanted in Yoruba. Chief Caller smiled. I told you, my dear. You belong to me now. Terror shot through her. She struggled, screamed. Please, don't do this. Adaora, help me. Adaora's gaze flickered, just for a moment. A trace of guilt. But she said nothing. The herbalist dipped a feather in thick red liquid and traced something on Jennifer's forehead. She felt dizzy. Weak. Tears spilled down her face. I don't want to die, she whispered. Chief Caller crouched beside her. His smile was cruel. Oh, my dear, he murmured, stroking her cheek. You won't die yet. The last thing she saw was the herbalist raising a knife, and then, darkness. Lekki was as lively as ever. The clubs were full. The girls still flaunted their designer bags. Nobody spoke about the ones who went missing. Nobody asked about Jennifer. At Adaora's apartment, she sat before a new girl. Young, beautiful, naive. Adaora smiled, handing her a glass of wine. Welcome to Lekki, she said sweetly. You're going to love it here. The girl giggled. Just like Jennifer once did. The cycle continued. The city devoured another soul.